guys, it's Becky. Welcome back to my channel. I'm really excited for today's video because I wasn't actually even planning to film today, but somebody asked me a question yesterday on Instagram. If you're not following me already over there, you should. It's Aplacetonest Becky on Instagram. But anyway, they asked me the question and it reminded me that I've been asked this question before and have never talked about it. And what they wanted to know was, how do you have siblings that are close and have a good relationship, especially when they are far apart in age? So if you guys don't know already, I have two girls. I have a 9-year-old and a 15-year-old. So they're 6 years apart in age, and that's a pretty significant difference. And I feel like there are definitely things you can do to help them to be, first of all, the happiest child they can be, but then also be close to each other. So if you want to see kind of how I have encouraged and fostered the relationship with my two girls, then stay tuned. So like I said, I do have two daughters, a 15-year-old daughter and a 9-year-old daughter. And just before I say anything else, these are my opinions and my thoughts and what has worked best for us. But what works for us may not necessarily work for you and your kids. So just keep that in mind. But these things have really helped us, I think, to have siblings that are happy independently, but then also really close together and have a really strong sibling bond. So the first thing is, before you even have kids, don't let other people pressure you into having a second or third or fourth or however many children. Don't let them pressure you into having kids before you're ready, just because you want them to be close in age. That's not really a good reason, I don't think, to have a child. Because if you are not ready as their parent to have another child, then that really is more important, I think, that you're ready before you worry about, well, if I don't have a kid now, my kids are gonna be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years apart in age. You need to be a happier parent and a secure parent and a confident parent before you go adding in more children just for the sake of them being close together in age. And actually, I don't know how old my older daughter was. She was probably about 4 when I had taken her to the pediatrician, and the doctor asked me when we were gonna have another child, and I was like, well, I don't know, I'm not ready yet. And he's like, oh, well, you better hurry up, because if you don't, they're gonna be really far apart in age, and next thing you know, you're gonna be taking separate vacations and doing all these things separately. And I thought, first of all, that's not his business or his place. He's not an obstetrician or a gynecologist, and even if he was, that's still kind of out of line. But especially just a regular old pediatrician's like office visit, him getting all of my Kool-Aid about when I'm gonna have another kid was just crazy. And I thought that was a dumb thing to say, because sure, if you have kids that are a lot older than younger siblings, they're gonna have different interests and they're gonna be at different stages of their own independence and their own stages of life. But that doesn't mean that you're gonna have to raise separate families just because you might have children that are far apart in age. I thought that was ridiculous. I did not listen to him at all. Make sure that you are ready to have that first child, and make sure you're ready to have any other children. Even if your spouse is ready and you're not, or they're ready, or you're ready and they're not. You really have to be ready as a parent before you even take the age difference of your kids into consideration. The second thing is, don't let them do everything separately. You know, like the doctor said, oh, you're gonna have to take separate vacations and all this stuff. That's crazy. You as the parent have a right and an obligation to make sure that the family does things together. And I think doing that especially gives kids lessons in fairness and taking the other person's wants and interests into consideration, and sacrificing maybe what you want to do for the other person. So maybe there are times when my younger daughter wants to go and do something that my older daughter doesn't want to do. Does that mean that I make her go every single time? Not necessarily. But especially if it's a family event and we're all gonna go, like my husband and me and my younger daughter, I'm like, my older daughter is gonna go too, for the most part, because it's a family event. And sometimes, a lot of times in families, you do things for other people before you do them for yourself. So I think that's a really important lesson. That being said, on the flip side of that, I do try to make sure that each girl has things that they get to do that are separate from their siblings, that are in their interests, and things that don't necessarily require the other sibling. So I try really hard to make sure that both girls have opportunities to do things with their friends, their peers, and with me, so that they're not always having you know, time with just the same friend or someone their own age or someone older or someone younger. You're really mixing up the types and the ages of people they hang out with. So they do lots of things together. We do lots of things as a family. And then they also have time and activities where they're going out with a friend, or a friend is coming over, or they're spending time with me alone, or they're doing something separate from their sibling. The balance that you can strike there between making sure you're doing things as a family, even if it's not what one of the kids wants to do and the other one does, that's okay. You know, maybe take turns, and one weekend one child does something they want to do with the family, and the next weekend the other child gets to pick, however you want to handle it. But there is a balance between that and doing something for the other person, and then also spending time with their own friends, their own peers, and then also their parents alone, especially for the younger ones, because the older sibling has always had their parents to themselves before the other kids came along. Like my oldest daughter, she had me and my husband to herself for almost 6 years before her sister came along. My younger daughter doesn't have that. She's always had an older sibling. She's never known what it's like to have just the undivided attention of their parents. So I feel like alone time with the parents is also really, really important away from the other siblings. Now, as far as making sure that both girls have time and the opportunities to spend time with their friends and other people their age, it is for us harder because from what I've seen in our experience, most activities that we're finding are for older kids, like teenagers, versus younger kids. So even at the library or at our homeschool co-op or at church, it seems like there are so many activities centered around teenagers, which I get, I totally understand that. But it is harder when you have younger kids that also want to go out and do fun things and have all these experiences when it seems like everything is geared towards teens and tweens. So that's been hard to find, but I do look. I am very actively always looking for things for both girls to do that would be interesting to both of them. So those things combined, that balance of family activities and maybe sometimes sacrificing what you want to do for your siblings, and then also separate activities with your friends, your peers, and your parents. I think there is a definite balance and a mix there that really contributes to a happy child and a happy relationship within the family, because you're going to have shared experiences and memories, and even bad things that may happen on a family vacation, or you go out somewhere and you know something happens that wasn't so great, but you're going to remember that, and it's going to be a shared family experience that your kids need. They need that relationship. They need that kind of backstory with each other growing up and with their parents. And I think the mix of those two things really does help to have happy children and happy family. And speaking of happy children, I think it's really important, even if you don't have more than one child and you just have the one, I think it's really important, but especially with siblings, to encourage their individual interests and help them to find things that they're good at and they love and they're passionate about. My girls, I have one that is, they both really love to draw. My older daughter in particular is like crazy obsessed with drawing. She draws all the time. She wants to be an artist when she grows up. My younger daughter is really into dance, and that really is her strong ability right now, is dance. And so I try my best to make sure they have opportunities to do things that help them to get better at what they love. So my older daughter, she's always drawing. We've done our online art classes before, and I try to help her to find ways that maybe she can start her own art business, which actually we're trying to work on right now, where she draws caricatures of like children. So we're working on that. My younger daughter takes dance lessons. And while in the midst of taking these lessons and stuff, I think it really is important for the other kids to support their sibling in whatever they're doing. So whether that is going to baseball games or piano recitals or whatever it is that they really like to do, the other siblings really like to do, I think it's important to encourage the other kids to support their siblings in their interests and talents. And even if they don't really want to go, like, why do I have to go to the recital for dance, or why do I have to go to this thing? You know, it's really important for them to learn and understand that going to those events and supporting their siblings in their interests really is important for them, because it's teaching them, you know, putting someone else before yourself, but it's also really inspiring and encouraging for the other child who knows that their sister is in the audience or their brother is watching them play their game and things like that. So I think that's really, really important. Another thing I think is really super important when you have more than one child is to not expect them to be like their siblings. I've learned this a lot, especially in homeschooling, that when I assume that my younger daughter is going to learn things the same way my older daughter did, or they're going to have the same curriculum work equally well for both of them, that is definitely not the case. And it's the same way even if you don't homeschool. You know, you have one child that may be more sensitive than the other. They respond to different types of discipline. And, you know, my older daughter is really, really headstrong, and she's probably a little bit too much like me. So she's very like mom-like, and she sometimes tends to forget that she is the child and I am the parent. But she's also always trying to like parent her little sister. And then my younger daughter is really a lot more sensitive. She's my more affectionate child. So you kind of have to tweak how you raise them, how you teach them, how you guide them, and how you punish them, each one on an individual basis. And especially when milestones happen and you think, well, my oldest was walking by the time, you know, this time happened, but my youngest is not doing that. You know, there's something wrong with my youngest and she's not as smart or she's not as developed. They all develop at different rates developmentally, motor skills, emotionally, everything. So it's really important to not fall into that trap of comparing one child to the other. And then from a sibling rivalry standpoint, I think it's especially important to not do that, not to compare them, because when they know you're doing that, it really causes tension between them as siblings, and it really causes a lot of hostility and rivalry between the kids, and that really does not foster a good relationship with your kids. So definitely do not compare any of your kids to the other ones, because they're all different. They all have different needs, strengths, everything like that, and they should not be treated like this, you know, like the oldest. Something else that works really well for us is, as much as we're together and as much as I try to encourage them to be together and do things that they like to do together and, you know, take turns picking the TV show and going to this place and going to that place, I really also try to give them time alone with no one. Just have that space, especially when we homeschool. You know, we're together a lot, so it's especially important, I think, for us to make sure that if they are not getting along or if they're fighting, I try to make sure that I just separate them. You know, you go to your room, you go to your room. Or don't talk to each other. Just do not talk to each other for like an hour. Because that does happen sometimes, and usually I find that really does help. Everybody needs that alone time. Even if you're not disagreeing with somebody, it can still be really nice sometimes just to have some time by yourself to do what you want to do, have your own thoughts, take a nap, read a book, watch TV, just decompress. Because sometimes you just get tired of being around people in general. Even if those people aren't doing anything wrong, it's nice to be alone sometimes. And especially with kids, when they are fighting or they're together a lot, or it's summer break and they've been together for 2 months and they're sick of each other. So many benefits and reasons why you might want to put them, you know, separate them and give them something else to do. Even if it's just doing chores on separate sides of the house, just to kind of get them away from each other. And my last thing that has really, I think, helped my girls to have a close relationship and continue to grow a really close relationship is homeschooling. I realize this is not something that pertains to everyone. Not everyone's going to homeschool, and having kids that are close together and having a good relationship is not necessarily a reason why you'd want to pull your kids out of school to homeschool, but it is a really nice benefit and blessing that I have noticed. Once we took our older daughter out of public school in the middle of 4th grade, as soon as she came home to do homeschooling, and I had a 3-year-old, 4-year-old, as soon as we did that, they instantly were closer. It wasn't anything that I did. It was just something that happened naturally. I didn't set out to make them be closer just because we were homeschooling. It was just a natural side effect that in our family happened on its own. Now, did it help because I did some of these other things? Maybe, probably. But it was nothing that I really set out to do, and it was nothing that I really expected to happen just because we homeschooled. So you guys let me know, if you homeschool, is that something that you've noticed? Do you notice that your kids are closer? Like if you had them in public school and now they're homeschooling, do you notice that they're closer, or is that the opposite for you? Maybe because you're together so much, you actually find them fighting more often. I don't know. I think it's really interesting how that has happened, because it does seem kind of counterintuitive. You would think being together all the time would make you disagree more, but it's actually, for us, had the reverse effect. So I don't know. I think it's kind of interesting. So like I said, these are my thoughts, my opinions, what we've done. Half of this stuff was not done intentionally. It's just kind of the way that I have taught them, raised them, and then some of these things I have learned along the way. But you guys let me know, if you have more than one child, how do you handle trying to encourage them to have a deep relationship with each other, and then also be really strong and happy and fulfilled individuals? I would really love your guys' opinions, thoughts, comments, suggestions, anything you have to say on the subject. I would really love to hear it, so definitely leave it in the comments below. I also do have a parenting mom life kind of playlist. I'll try to remember to link for you guys with other parenting types of videos. And if you guys like this and you found it helpful, make sure you give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments. Would you like me to make more parenting videos? And if so, what would you like me to make them about? Because for me, sometimes, you know, I'm already a parent and I'm already kind of actively parenting my kids. So I don't always stop and think, oh, this might make an interesting video, or somebody might want to know this. I don't usually think that way. So I need you guys to help me out. So if you have any parenting videos that you'd like me to make or talk about, if it's something I feel confident in sharing with you guys, then I definitely will. So make sure you leave that in the comments as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.